Welcome back to Loan Officer Success Live, and this is the Coach's Corner powered by Premier Lending. Your host, mortgage leader and business builder, Devin Dubuque, and the coach with the winning playbook, Rick Koenig. Together, they're bringing you real strategies, no fluff insights, and the exact steps to grow your mortgage business. Buckle up because this is Loan Officer Success Live. All right, guys. What do you think, Coach? I think that was new for you, right?
That was cool. Now I know why I wear a hat rather, with that picture with no hat on. So I do have a head of hair, but
You're a handsome man, Coach. You're a handsome man. So for those of you tuning in and haven't seen the show before, that's a new intro that we dropped on there. So look for that coming forward and, in the new series. And we may even be putting together a little outro video too. But man, thanks for coming back and checking us out here on the Coach's Corner. And Coach, as always, it's great to get you back over here and share success and secrets and strategies, with the people out there that need to hear it. We were talking a few minutes ago. You told me something crazy. Where are we at right now?
Today is day 226 in the year, which means we are officially over 2/3 of the year being gone. Think about that. Think about the people that haven't actually set their goals, haven't written stuff down. It's time to start planning for next year and how you're going to finish the year out strong.
Yeah. I love that. Well, I think, we had a couple of ideas. In fact, we might have had some inspiration. One thing we always like to do is give a shout out to our buddy Scotty Hudspeth and his show, MLO Live, right? We're LOS Live. He's MLO Live. And, if you guys haven't joined that one, I think I'm going to need to update the times here because we're going live earlier next week. But you can check that show out Monday through Thursday. It's going to be 8:30 a.m. Eastern or 7:30 a.m. Central. And there's great guests on there every single week. And today we had Darren Copeland, and that guy, man, just really left me feeling, inspired. And I think it may be a little inspiration for us on the show today, which is, how do we give a little gratitude out there, right? Like let the people know that we care. And how do we turn that into an actionable plan to help grow and build our referral relationships?
Yeah, because now's the time to do it. If you think about it, since we're 2/3 done with the year, we've got the rest of August, and I know people have kids that go back to school in the middle of August. You've got the month of September, and the things that you start doing over the next 6 weeks and then throughout October, November are going to be what keeps you busy from November through February. And, for us people up north here, we do have that slowdown because of the winter time and snow on the ground. Our buddy Pedro up in Minnesota, they get hammered. Down south, maybe not quite as bad, but you still get the holidays and things like that. So what you're doing now, what you do over the next 45 days really could end up determining whether this year finishes strong or not. So gratitude exactly right. Is a great thing to think about. You've got Thanksgiving coming up. You have the Christmas season and Hanukkah coming up in December. You've got the new year to start thinking about. So what a better time to not only start planning, but to go ahead and be grateful for what you have done. And even if you haven't done what you wanted, there's a lot of people out there that you can show gratitude to by, looking at your phone, and looking at your database and making calls to those people. And there's lots of different ways to do it.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. And, I actually had a conversation earlier today with some of our team just talking about, how you can show gratitude to the people that you're building relationships with or people you already have relationships with. And one thing that I found, especially when you're talking about people in our industry, Coach, your real estate agents, your processors, right, your loan partners, a lot of us don't hear gratitude often, right? Like we don't get a lot of praise for the things that we do. And, when you look at a lot of these top tier agents, and man, have I talked to a lot of them, right? I've done a ton of podcasts, East Coast to West Coast, and it's always, your big players out there who are doing a lot of units, and they've got teams under them. And it's not that their teams aren't appreciative of them, and it's not that they don't do a good job appreciating their teams, but sometimes they just don't hear it, themselves, that what they're doing is enough. And one thing that I know with top producers is that top producers are never feeling like they've accomplished what they want to accomplish. They always feel like they're just not doing quite enough, even though what they're doing is astonishing. They don't always feel that, right? So sometimes just being an outsider looking in and letting them know that you're wowed by what they're doing and say thank you for it. And I'll give you an example, right? Coach, I know what you do. You lead and inspire a lot of people, and you maybe don't hear it enough, right? And at the end of the day, man, I know your career and the people that you've helped and the people that you've helped put in bigger positions. And I got to tell you, brother, thank you. Thank you for being you, and thank you for everything that you do, right?
You saw I got a real smile on my face right then, because you made me think of the people that, over the last 30 years of my career, a buddy of mine right here in Cincinnati retired last year. He's a couple years older than me, and I think he turned 67. And, just watch him retire and know that the day that he walked in my office looking for a job, he owned a paper route. He owned 3 paper routes in Cincinnati back when the newspapers used to sell the routes to somebody. They bought the routes, they worked them, they collected the money, they delivered them.
Might have been my first job.
And it all got pulled away from these guys. This guy was making back in the early 90s, $90,000 a year, big money.
Wow.
And working about 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
And to see his whole career yanked from underneath of him. And then to watch him, 25 years later, almost 30 years later, retire after having just a beyond phenomenal career in this business. And all I did was give him a chance, and we just helped each other. And this guy, he did what he needed to do. He went out and built this thing. And it's just wonderful to see this guy retire. And so for me at Coach and even recruiting, I love when somebody's successful. And I love when they're 10 times more successful than I am. Amen. Because I know that I've had an incredible life in this industry. It's given me a lifestyle that I don't think you can live in most industries. And, it's given us freedom and flexibility and stuff that we're able to do for our kids and grandkids. And, if you're not thankful, then, who do you go? I need to go and thank those people that helped me. So, that's what we got to help these loan officers do today. So how are we going to help them get out there?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So, that goes back to it. So just, think about the people in your database that you're working with, and, this is a great opportunity just doing an outreach call, right? We may be talking to them every single day. And a lot of the times what we're talking to them is about business or, who we're helping. But what we don't always do is take a step back and go, you know what? Hey, I got to tell you something. I just appreciate you. I appreciate you for who you are and what you're doing. And I just want you to know that. And, what Darren was talking about this morning is maybe not even doing it face to face, which I think either way works, right? But, think about it like this. You wake up first thing in the morning and you're getting ready to, start your day. And before you go out and start making your outreach calls or diving into files or tackling emails, getting clients approved, what if you took a few minutes and you could do 5 of these a day is what his suggestion was, and just shot a quick video, right, on your phone. And there's a lot of ways to deliver that, right? You can just shoot a video on the phone and send it that way. You can actually go into a social media feed and you can do the video there and you can shoot that out. And full disclosure, Coach, I might have sent him a gratitude video right after the call, thanking him for jumping on and sharing that with us, right? Because he inspired me. And you send that out as a text message to 5 people first thing before they even start their day. How would they feel, right? What's that look like? Hey, Coach Rick, it's Devin, man. I got to tell you, I just woke up this morning and I got to tell you, thank you, man. Just thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being there for me. And man, I don't say it enough, but I appreciate you, right? And you hit the send button and you don't worry about how you look or how you feel. You just do it for them. And let me tell you something. I feel better after I sent the video, right?
Yeah.
Another way to do that, and I do this, is the birthday videos, right? Yeah. You can do it in Facebook very easily.
You're the best at the birthday videos. Yeah, I love when I see mine, and I love when I see other people's. You know, it's that big personality. When you're on the screen, you come across, you got the biggest personality out there. And when people meet you, they realize why. But it's just so exciting to see somebody that's actually happy. So if you take, that list of old clients, you take even families and friends. I think, I call at least my whole family, and I do call a lot of friends on their birthday, and I sing happy birthday to them. And the funny thing is, my nieces and nephews won't answer. They actually like it to go into voicemail so they can play it for their friends and say, listen to my crazy uncle.
That's it.
But you know how much those kids appreciate Uncle Rick? Yeah. Well, the same thing happens with your clients, that you're working with, whether it's people that you've helped finance or whether it's your realtor partners. Yeah. And to literally 5 videos. I mean, you think about it. If one video is, hey, Devin, it's Rick, man, just thinking about you today. We've done a lot of business together over the years. And if I haven't said it enough, thank you so much, brother. Just go have a great day. I was just thinking of you. Bye. Boom. Ooh. What did that take? I'm looking over here. That took like 17 seconds. Yeah. You could literally send the 5 videos out in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Speaking of sending the videos, I just got a text from my wife. So I'm going to do one right now, just in case she happens to be tuning in. Hey, Darian, I love you so much. And if you don't know it, you're amazing. And thank you so much for being you. I love you. Right. And there it is. And I just did it live on air on 3 different channels. And hopefully she sees this. But that's all it is. You go back to the birthday videos, and I do these on Facebook again, and the cell phone's the best way to do it because you can just go right into their messenger, right? You click on in fact, what you do is you go in and you search birthdays. It pulls up all your birthdays that are coming up, even the ones that are coming up in the next couple of days, and then you just fire off. So you go to their messages and you click the little photo, like you're going to take a picture of yourself, but then instead of just pushing the button to take the picture, you hold it down, and it will actually let you record a little quick video. And like, to give you an example of one I do, I'll just throw one on here right now. It's my birthday. Hey, I got to tell you, it is your birthday. And today I am thinking about YO and you. Man, this earth is a better place because of you. And I want you to celebrate all week long and just know that your brother Devin cares about you. Happy birthday, my friend. And that's it. And then you hit the send button and bam, there it is. Now, mine may be a little bold, as Coach Rick liked to say. I've got a big, bold personality. It doesn't have to be that. You don't have to have the music. You don't have to be dancing. You just got to let them know that you care about them.
And I don't sing worth a damn. There's a reason why you see guitars around here, but the only microphone I've ever talked into this one right here.
Yeah, so. That's it. Well, and that's it, and you just do something like that. You do it for all your friends and family and the people that you're working with. And sometimes maybe you do it for people you don't even know, right? If they pop up and they're in your friends list in Facebook and you don't talk to them, shoot them a birthday video. You never know who you're going to inspire and how that's going to impact you. And I also say this because I don't want to seclude it just to our business partners outside of the office. We've got business partners here. So another thing I did today, Coach, is I pulled all of our processing team and some of our LOAs in, and I just told them the same thing. I just said, hey, I just pulled you in here to tell you, thank you guys. I appreciate you so much and everything that you do, because we care about you here.
My suggestion would be go ahead and pull up at the beginning, before the beginning of the month, in Facebook, they show all the birthdays. Go ahead and pull up all the birthdays for the month and literally record all of them. Yeah. You could record 20, 30, 50 videos, in an hour or two and have them done for the entire month. And then all you do is go to that person and you send it to them on their day, and you can post it to social media. You can just send it straight through, Messenger on your phone, or you can do whatever you want. And that way, instead of having to think about it 5 times every morning, I just got hiccups. You can go ahead and you can go ahead and send it out and only do it 1 day's worth of recordings. And then if somebody pops up that you forgot about, like in LinkedIn or someplace else whose birthday you didn't have done, or it shows up in your calendar, then jump on those and do those as the daily ones. But you could do the family, friends, coworkers, and all those kind of people based on your Facebook friends.
Yeah. Well, and I know what you're thinking maybe on the other end of this. You're like, yeah, but I do the little Facebook thing and I send the post, right? But guess what? So does everybody else. And at the end of the day, they know it's canned. They know that you just hit a button that popped up on your screen and said, send this. And that's where the difference comes in. When they know that you take the time to actually think about them, whether it's on the birthday or just a gratitude thank you in general, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes it special. And the other thing that Coach said, and I love this, is the ability to be able to go back and play that video, because sometimes they may go home and show their spouse, be like, this really meant something to me today, right? And they may hit that replay button, watch it a couple times like the kids do, and just feel good every time they do. I know I had another good buddy of mine I did this for just a couple months ago, and man, he sent it to everybody in our circle. He's like, look what Devin did, where's my video from you? Right. So the question is, how does this translate into building your business? Because we know we talked about this is a time crunch and you've only got a third of the year left to finish out your year strong or start next year with a bang. But I think it has everything to do with that, because typically where we're getting our business from are our partners, right? The people that we know, like, and trust. And that's the people we got to be loving on. We got to love on those people, right?
Well, when you're loving on those people too, there's something great to think about for the end of the year here. Interest rates have drifted down a little bit. I'm out of touch with the rates unless I'm working with a branch on, pricing and setting them up. But I don't look at rates on a daily basis. And I don't think you have to worry about what rates are on a daily basis. But if you're looking at the last 2 weeks of the month here, my thought would be plan one is call every single person you have pre-approved that you have any information on, and
Yep.
call every one of them between now and the end of the month. Let them know that rates have started to fall. Inventories on homes were up at their highest. They might be dropping a little bit. Let them know that, and I think people take this as a negative, let them know that the people are coming off their list prices and willing to pay closing costs, or willing to pay points that you could utilize to buy the interest rate down lower, do a permanent rate buy down. Because, it doesn't mean that housing prices are falling. It just means based on the list prices, which they're probably listing them too high to begin with, based on things that happened 2 years ago and 3 years ago. I don't think anybody, unless you bought a house in 2021 and paid $50,000 or $100,000 over market, is at risk of losing money on a house that they bought just a few years ago. Unless you're in one of those 5 cities, and you and I both know if you hang on to that house, just make your payments, refinance it when rates come down, your equity is going to grow even in those cities that seem to have some price deflation right now. But for the people, most people, this is a great opportunity to let them know that, hey, people are willing to work with you now like they weren't willing to work with you a year or 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
that would be my first thing. And then for the whole month of September, do your first batch of birthday videos, show them some thanks, call every realtor that you've ever done a deal with in September, every realtor you've ever done a deal with.
And
in
if you
Redder
ever want
and
to
some
get
of these
that
other,
real quick too, Coach,
Yeah.
There are programs out there like Redder that have access to all that data. You could literally go back to 2017. You can see every agent you ever worked with. Their contact information is right there. So, we're not sponsored, but shout out to our guy, Stephen Winans over at Redder, or Vinans, I believe, as he put it out there. That data is available to you and your past client database too, right? The people that you've worked with in the past, or as we like to call them, our clients, because they're still our clients.
Yeah.
And if we're doing it right, to piggyback off of what Coach is saying, is do your videos, but then call your database, right? Call the people that you've worked with in the past, show them some gratitude, just call them and say thank you. Nothing in return. You're not looking for anything. You don't even have to take action on that call. Just let them know that you're thinking about them, and that you wanted to reach out and see how the family's been, how the house is doing. And is there something that you can help them with, non-mortgage related, right? Is there anything you need from me?
Well, and the other big reason to reach out to your past client database and even family and friends and stuff, people like that. I just saw in Housing Wire yesterday that 39% of all applications received in the last 30 days were for cash out refinances. So I don't know whether they were getting rid of 3% interest rates or not, but there's enough people in the 5s and 6s and even 7s that, to be able to get into a mid 6 and pull 30 grand out might be life changing for them right now. So, don't think about, what they're going to think about you calling, because they might be thinking about doing exactly what you're trying to incite them to do. And you just help them, think about how many times your spouse walks in and says, "Hey, did you do this yet?" And then you go ahead and do it, and all of a sudden it pays off.
Yeah.
Like you made that call to a friend who wanted to go to dinner, or you called the company that needed to come fix something, and they got an appointment open tomorrow for you. Get on that phone, make those calls. The next 6 weeks is going to determine how you finish the year. I mean, we're talking about finishing the year.
Yeah.
I always remember Alvin Iverson saying, "Practice? It's just practice." No. This is real. This is the game. Pick the phone up and do what you need to do. Have the year finish out strong. If you don't know what your plan is for the rest of the year, you got 2 weeks to get it finished, because after Labor Day, you've got to be doing the plan. The people that started earlier, like the end of August here, they're gonna be 2 weeks ahead of everybody else. And if for that entire month of September you concentrate on the basics, call the realtors, show them appreciation, call the past client database, call the pre-approved and lookings that you've done for the last year, stir these people up, ask them for referrals, because if they're not going to buy, they might know somebody else that's buying. And let's get this thing going so that, come September or October, November, December, maybe you double or triple your volume when everybody else is taking their foot off the gas, because, we made it through another year. I mean, you don't want to just make it through the year. You want to cruise into next year on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, and I want to piggyback on what you're talking about there too. When you mentioned, people, considering equity, taking equity out, right, or doing any type of cash out stuff. So, if you're if you're a consumer, you should probably know this too, right? At the end of the day, the average equity for mortgage holders right now, and this is according to several different sources, is about $302,000 to $313,000. Now, we call this tappable equity because you typically can't finance more than a certain amount of your house. When you're taking equity out, is about $195,000 to $203,000. That's the average in the United States right now, right? But what's really crazy is the average consumer debt right now is about $152,000. Okay, that is average consumer debt in the United States today, and that's in Q2 of 2025. Okay, but this is where it gets really, really scary. While mortgage rates seem like they're high, and a lot of people are locked in the threes on their current mortgage rates, the average credit card debt in America today ranges from 20% interest to 27% interest. 20 to 27%. Okay. Yeah. So when you talk about people feeling pain and struggling, right, and you look at $150,000 in consumer debt and $300,000 in equity, which $200,000 is tappable, could be utilized to help alleviate that pain. When you start to look at some of these transactions, Coach, and you work the math backwards, even though the mortgage is great, their financial debt with those credit cards, right, which are amortized, right, a little different than the way mortgage is, right? Mortgage is a simple fixed interest rate, right, amortized over a specific period of time, where you have compounding interest on your credit cards at a very, very high rate. Tapping into that equity is actually something that a lot of people are considering doing right now. So, and if you talk to them about that, right, if they are experiencing that kind of pain, you can provide them a plan where you look at how do you tap into that equity, eliminate that high interest credit card debt, set yourself up for success. And when the rates do come down, then you could potentially look at 12 months later doing another refinance and locking everything in at a lower rate, but maybe could breathe a little bit. So there are people out there that are struggling, and I think it's a great point to bring that up, Coach. When we talk about, hey, they may already be looking at that. We'll know those statistics when they are looking at it, because people love to hear statistics and they love to understand that there might be a way to get out of pain. And if you can show them how to do that, it's truly a home run, right? So
Yep.
if you guys have questions on this or how to have those types of conversations, Coach and I are always available. You could find us at LOS.live, LOS.live, or you can just drop a comment or DM us directly. You can find us out there on the social platforms. You're probably already here if you're watching the show right now. And, if you want it to be more private than public, right? Drop a DM and we're happy to reach out and meet with you and, help you come up with a great plan for success for yourself. So, Coach, any other words of advice as we're wrapping up the final countdown, right?
Yeah,
the third quarter. We're here for anybody to leave with.
Yeah, it's if I can just encourage anybody to do anything, if this year was another year where you did plan and you made the plans and you missed your plan, let's reset that goal. You've got 1/3 of the year left, and you actually have more than that because, 1 quarter plus an extra 45 days. Take this next 45 days and let's get yourself set up so that you hit October running, and then you hit November and December. There's nothing better than rolling into January and February and having, your best January and February and December that you've ever had. And it's out there. The business is out there. So
yeah, 100%.
Great.
Well, Teresa said, time for a mortgage and credit check to see if you can save them some cash. Remember their pain points. And that's going to be a home run. Teresa, thanks for that, and thanks for
Teresa.
jumping in. And great to see you. Great to see you. So, and hey, get on Coach and I's calendar. It'd be great to catch up. But Coach, I think we're probably going to wrap it for today. So guys, thanks for dropping in and keep coming back. We appreciate you for listening to Coach and I, and just we love inspiring and helping you out.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah, subscribe, pass on, forward, tell your friends. There you go.
There it is, man, and point in every single direction possible to make that stuff happen. Here's a place where you can subscribe to, right? And again, if you're already on the channel, hit that like button, right? Make a comment and keep us moving through those algorithms so we can help more people just like you. But until the next time, great to see you too, Teresa. I think this is going to be it for Coach and I today. I'm Devin Dubuque.
I'm Coach Rick.
And man, we just appreciate everybody. So until the next time, we will see you then.